Hello everyone, my name is Zeyu Lee. I'm the founder and CEO of Essence Educational Company. Today I'm going to give you a brief introduction about our company. So first, what do we mean by essence? Actually, many of my friends are asking me the same question. Why do you call your company Essence Educational? What do you mean by essence? I think this is a great question, so I'm going to address it now. This is also the reason why we create this company. So I think it's better for me to start from my personal experience a long time ago. When I was 3 years old, my father taught me how to add 9 to 9 in order to show me the decimal system in mathematics. So afterwards, he gave me a question, how to add 999 to 999. Afterwards, I solved that problem and was so proud about myself. At that age, one thing, flexibility in mathematics, was urged in my mind. However, this little principle was totally overthrown when I was in my high school, in which my teacher tried to tell the students, okay, you need to classify the mathematical questions into different categories, say 1,000 categories, and then you try to memorize a common method for each of the category, and afterwards you are going to be great in the university entrance exam. So then, because of the little flexibility in my mind, I began to question, okay, so you can solve 1,000 different kinds of problems now. How about a new problem that does not belong to any of the categories? How are you going to solve it? So then, more specifically, how to solve new questions innovatively and correctly becomes a very important question for me. Actually, I spent a lot of time and energy pursuing the answer to that question. Of course, during that process, I also make tons of mistakes and errors. So finally, I found that many mathematicians are also pursuing the same thing. So how to think to solve problems. So the problem here are not only mathematical problems, but can be any problems. Can be managerial problem, can be interpersonal problem, can be a trading problem, any problem. But we continue to use math as a way to approach it, because math doesn't have the unnecessary complexities of the reality, but also has very high degree of difficulty. You can still find extremely difficult questions in mathematics, many of which are still unsolved nowadays. So by using math as model, finally I come up with the thinking procedures, the thinking principles of how to think to solve problems innovatively. So this is something what I call the mathematical philosophy or problem-solving philosophy. One of the essences we are talking about in our company name, Essence Educational Company. So firstly, maybe let me introduce you some of the outcomes after starting to know this essence. After I start to know this essence, the first thing I did when I was a GMAT teacher in France, basically I created 3 strategies that are able to help my students to solve any GMAT mathematical questions. And these 3 strategies can also help high school students in China to solve any mathematical questions they can face in university entrance exam. So basically these 3 strategies are just a small portion of the mathematical philosophy I just talked about. And secondly, in my studies in university and in my studies when I pursue my MBA degree, for all important subjects, because of using this philosophy, I master all of them. So this is the second thing I achieved. The most recent one, after I joined an investment bank as an equity derivative trader, I spent a lot of time in exploring directional trading strategies. So by using this philosophy, it helped me to explore and discover what I call the financial market principles and logic, things that are there as long as the financial market operates. So then I based my trading strategies on those principles and logic, and finally came up with something that achieved so far excellent results. So these are just the outcomes of using this philosophy, the essence we're talking about. So comes back to my question at the beginning, why we create this company. like my high school. So basically we find that many institutions nowadays, many educational institutions, they basically can only teach knowledge, but rarely they touch the area of essences, basically principles and rules that can help you to handle difficult, realistic problems. But those things are not taught. So that's why we create this company, in order to impart to our clients, to our students, those important principles and logic that can help them to face the harsh reality. Here are some other essences we are trying to give to our clients. For example, the principle on mistakes. Everyone hates mistakes. Most people try to avoid it at all costs. But they don't understand that mistakes are, in many situations, inevitable and is extremely valuable. For me personally, many of my most important things are learned from mistakes. So even for us, sometimes when making mistakes is inevitable, we should try our best even to expedite the procedure of making mistakes. In other words, you try to make mistakes as quickly as possible so that you can grasp, learn as fast as possible. So these are the principles on mistakes. I think it's extremely important, and we would like to share with you in more details in the coming future. Another example would be the principles on taking risks. For human beings, risk is almost everywhere. So there are always factors that we cannot control. So in other words, we always face risks. And more importantly, the most rewarding activities nowadays have risks, such as in the ancient times when you fight a war, which is extremely rewarding for many people, it's extremely risky. Nowadays, if you invest in financial markets, something quite rewarding is also taking risk. If you start your business like we do, it's also extremely rewarding, but also extremely risky. So what kind of risk you can take, you can tolerate, and you should take, and what kind of risk you shouldn't, and to what degree risks should be managed and contained. We have guidelines and principles to help you. These are also the other essences that we try to give to our students. Also, me and my partner, the whole school is also continuously learning different essences. We'll try to share with you those we already find, and we'll continue to share with you those we are also experiencing and also exploring. Lastly, let me talk a little bit about what we are doing for the moment for the company. So the first thing we did is we created a GMAT and SAT courses for our students. So in the GMAT course, for example, we're going to teach the student what are the 5 factors that are influencing your GMAT score or any exam that you're going to take. So we created another video specifically to introduce our GMAT course. If you're interested, you are very welcome to visit our website www.essence-edu.com to watch that video. So then another thing we are doing for the moment is we also create a mobile app that try to help Chinese students to memorize English words. So one thing I hate when I was studying English a long time ago is the mechanical memorizing of English words, something I hate because I like logical things. Therefore, I try to find out memorizing rule for each of these advanced words in English, those GMAT and SAT words. So basically what we do is we classify the vocabularies into 2 categories. The first one, those are vocabularies can be memorized by roots. So basically what we do is first you try to review one easy word like husband. Then you try to learn the root of it, which is band. So band is a root, means connection. It means boundary. Basically, husband is a man who has a connection with a woman, with his wife, right? That's the meaning of a husband. So band means connection. Then from these root of a word, we try to learn multiple advanced words. For example, abandon. Abandon is a relatively advanced word. Start with A. A is a very common prefix, means negative. Then band means connection. On means the continuation of an action. So together it means do not connect anymore. So basically it means we do not connect, we give up. So that's the meaning of abandon, means to give up. So about 1/3 of the words where you cannot find the root of a word. So we also try to help Chinese students by creating memorizing method. For instance, frugal. Frugal is a word very difficult to memorize, but by pronunciation it can be very easy for Chinese. Fru is like furu. Furu is very low-level food in China. And go in pronunciation is very much like enough in Chinese. So furu, go, from the pronunciation can be understood as you just eat furu is enough. So you are living a very low-cost life. This is exactly the meaning of a frugal in English. So that's how we help our students to memorize. So we put all of these memorizing rules together in an app called Beat Me Vocabulary Master, and together with things like Ebbinghaus forgetting curve to help you to review those words whenever you have the tendency to forget them. So we put everything together into this app, and which is going to be available in both Apple and Android. So, and more importantly, it's all for free. So these GMAT SAT courses and the mobile app are just among the first steps we take to fulfill our goal, our mission, to impart to our clients, to our students, the essences we try to share with them. Thank you very much for your time for today's presentation. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.